Hello and welcome to another video, AM language video. Another live video, and today we are going to talk about vocabulary that you can use to talk about films. So let's share the video. Share. Okay, the video is now shared. Great. So guys, welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know who's watching. The weather it's overcast today. It's cloudy. It's a bit miserable. It's not great weather. But it's 4 o'clock and I have my cup of tea, so that's always good. Joseph says, hi, Richard. Hello, Joseph. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Sandra says, hi, Richard. Hope you are fine. I am fine. Thank you very much for asking. Irina says, hello. Hello, Irina. Thank you for joining again. Let me know in the comments section what sort of films and movies and TV series you like watching, and if there's anything you are watching at the moment that you really enjoy, that you really like. Kai K says hello. Hi, Kai K. Thank you for joining. For instance, at the moment, I enjoy watching movies from the late 80s, early 90s. TV series wise, I have just finished Person of Interest. Really enjoyed Person of Interest, actually. I thought that's a good TV series. So yeah, let me know what you are watching at the moment. What genre do you like? Action, thriller, romance, horror, maybe. So yes, hope everyone's doing well, and we'll make a start. We're still waiting for people to join. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I was trying to find a good photo for the thumbnail of this video. In the end, I went for this one with a camera, but I don't think it's as good as I could have. I think I could have found a better video, a better photo. I wanted to find a photo of an actual sort of movie of people acting. Sandra says, at the moment, I'm watching on Apple TV the show Truth Be Told. Oh, let us know if you think it's good, Sandra. Maria says, hi, Richard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Maria. Thank you for joining. Alejandra Triana says, hi. Hello, Alejandra. Irana says, I'm watching the Millards series now. It's exciting. I have not heard of the Millards or Millards. Let me know what it's about. And that's the first thing that we need to talk language that we need. How to try and explain what something's about. So the question is, Gizem says hi. Hi, Gizem. So the question is, what's it about? Okay. Now, a way you can start off by trying to explain what something is about is with the word basically. So you can say, for instance, basically, it's about blah 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 blah. But you start you start off by saying basically, and when you say basically, it means you're going to summarize. We use this when speaking a lot, but you're just going to summarize the main and important points. Joseph says, I like watching fantasy movies. For example, The Lord of the Rings. Don't forget the S, Lord of the Rings. And okay, so you like watching movies like that. I love Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings is brilliant. I mean, look, I always like when people try to take something that's in a book and put it into film. I think it's really enjoyable. So I love Lord of the Rings. I thought Harry Potter was done quite well. Harry Potter, obviously, being a very popular book, well, series of books. And I think most of the films of Harry Potter were very good as well. So yeah. So guys, yes, try and use this word basically. Okay, so basically it's about. Now, if I were to try and explain to you what Lord of the Rings is about, I would start off with the word basically. Alessandro Di Fabio says, hello. Hi, Alessandro. Let me know if you got an email from me, Alessandro, because I think you're meant to join my pre-intermediate class in the mornings. So yeah, if I'm going to talk about Lord of the Rings, I would say basically Lord of the Rings is about. So that's how I would introduce the 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 content of what a film is about. Kai K says, I like especially British comedy, keeping up appearances. Okay, very good. Yes, keeping up appearances is a very funny British comedy. Um, Now, the term keeping up appearances is someone who wants to, who thinks a lot about their image and the way they look, the way they dress, the way they speak, the way they sound. It's a good comedy. When you use an adverb like this, I like especially, or I especially like. In this case, I especially like. So we would use the pronoun, then the adverb, then the verb. I especially like British comedy, for example. Speaking of British comedies, I know a very popular British comedy is obviously Mr. Bean. But British comedy is I I love classic British comedy. So I really like comedy, British comedy from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Um, British comedy is very different today. It's not quite the same as it was in the past. But like in the 80s, especially and 90s, British comedy was really, really good. Very funny stuff. Keeping Up Appearances actually was in the 90s, I think. Okay, guys. So let's first of all go through the different types of categories. So you've got action, you've got thriller. And the difference between action and thriller, action is a lot of, well, fighting probably. But thriller, there's not just, it's not just, you know, um, it's not just action. There's something more to it. When we talk about a thriller, for example, we're thinking of a combination. There might be action, but there's also a storyline, which is you get, you know, that you like to watch. Crime, for instance, crime movies are usually are usually thrillers. For example, Sandra says the show is very exciting. Okay, this is about the show you're watching. Basically, it's about a gay. Now here we need probably like a gay person, a gay man. We need here using gay. We need the pronoun at the end over here. Okay, so it's about a gay guy, for example, or a woman. He, okay, so it's he. Okay, so in this case, a gay man, for example. He is innocent in prison. Okay, maybe you know the actor Aaron Paul from from Breaking Bad, Okay, I think I know who you're talking about, but I've never seen this series before. Never seen it. So, like I was saying, the different categories. We've got action, which is a lot of violence, thriller, which is usually to do with crime. There's like a story that you discover. You have drama. Then you have romance, obviously, which speaks for itself. Romantic comedies. So it's a comedy, but there's something about it that is also romantic. These are these are films like Love Actually, for example. That's a very famous one. Then you have horror. Now, I don't like horror films. I really don't like horror films at all. So let's look at the type of adjectives we can use when talking about these films. Okay, so when we're talking about action films, we can say the film. The film is the first one is violent. Okay, a violent is when there's a lot of fighting involved. So the film is very violent. So this would be, for instance, like a war movie. If you, I mean, if you watch like World War II movies, like Saving Private Ryan, it's very violent. Um, if you watched Gladiator, for example, Gladiator, it's a very violent movie as well. So when there's action, there's usually violent. We can also use words like the film is fast paced. This is when the storyline moves quickly. So here, I would say something like Fast and Furious. That's a fast-paced movie. Storyline moves very, very quickly in a film like Fast and Furious. Okay, let's think of one more. We can also use this word when talking about action films. This is gory. So, for instance, we can say 300 is gory. Now, gory means when there's a lot of violence and blood. So that's a gory film, for example. So there's a lot of so 300, for example, is a gory film because there's a lot of blood. Horror films can be gory, like Saw. Thrillers can be gory as well, but especially fighting movies. So 300, that's a gory film. Tarantino, he likes his gory stuff. So let me know about a film that is an action film, and tell me, what adjectives would you use to describe it? Is the film violent? Is the film fast paced? Is the film gory at all? So think of a film and let me know in the live chat. Okay, Maria says Extraction is an action movie. So don't forget an action movie. Okay, let me know, how would you describe it? Is Extraction fast paced? Is it violent? Is it gory? Is it let's think of another word. I'm trying to think of another word here that we could use. I think we could add more words to the action one. Joseph says another kind of movie should be noir. Noir. Oh, right. Noir. Noir, I think. Okay. Let's. Um, yeah, noir. I was right the first time with my pronunciation. Um, yeah, you could say noir. I mean, that's I mean, that's a kind of crime movie. You don't usually see it as a. I think noir. I think noir usually is just comes under thriller. To be honest, Joseph, noir. I would just say it's like another category of thriller. Maria says, okay, it is violent about children in India. One man was for him rescate, rescate, rescue. Maybe he is an expert in the war. Okay, and you recommend it. Okay. Now, looking at what we're targeting here, the adjectives, yeah, you've used violent properly. Just don't forget, it is, okay? It is violent. Joseph says there are movies and books under the category of noir. Yeah, I think so. I still think if we're looking on Netflix, it would come under noir. Noir comes under thriller. Technically, I think it's what we would call a. So you have a category such as thriller, and then you might have something called a sub category, which would be something like noir, for example. So it's a subcategory of the main category. Okay, guys, good. I think the other one as well that we can use is trying to think of a word instead of interesting. So maybe something like the film is gripping. Now, if something is gripping, it means it holds your attention. You can't stop watching it. Okay, that's what we mean by gripping. Let me know if you can think of a film that is gripping. So it's really interesting. You can't stop watching it. It's entertaining. Alejandra says, nor is a French expression. Yes, it is a French expression. We can still use it in English, though. Again, it's not. I mean, in English, we also have the plural noirs, for example. But it is a French term. But like some words in English, well, actually, like some words in French, we also have them in English. But you are right. It's definitely a French expression, but we can use it in English as well. Okay, guys, let me know if you can think of a movie that is gripping. I've always thought, for example, Gladiator was gripping. I think Transporter is gripping. These are action movies. You can probably say certain war movies are gripping as well. So we'll think of one more, and then we'll move on to thriller and adjectives that we can use when talking about thriller movies. I mean, if I were to think of a really gripping film, I would say one that I've watched recently. It's the most gripping action film I've seen recently. Probably Rambo. Rambo, yeah, Rambo is gripping. It's fun. It's silly. I mean, look, I really like Sylvester Stallone. I know look, he's not the greatest actor in the world, but his movies are entertaining. Rambo is gripping. It holds your attention. So yeah, I would say Rambo is gripping. It's also violent. Rambo is very violent, actually. I would almost say like when it's something is too much, then you can say something is it's over the top. So you can say let's say the violence in a movie. So you can say like the violence is over the top. And if you use the term over the top, it simply means too much. So violence is over the top. If you look at certain movies, violent movies, some of the violence is definitely over the top. It's not very realistic. and sometimes it's not great for the actual story either. Okay, let's try and think of thriller movies that would be under thriller, and sometimes you can have an action thriller as well. They often come underneath one another, but this would be like crime stories, for example. Number 7, for example, that would be. I think it's number 7. That is with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. You've got a really good film from the 90s called Fight Club. That technically is a thriller, and that's a really good movie. I think with Brad Pitt is, I've never liked him as the main actor, but as the supporting actor, so the second main person, he's good. He's good as a number 2. So this movie this movie is old, but very gripping. The Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, The Silence of the Lambs is gripping. Definitely gripping, without question. So that's a good sentence there, Sandra. Yeah, so we've got those sort of movies. I watched a really good thriller recently. It's called Knives Out. It's an American crime story. So Joseph, you might, if you like crime stories, you might like this one. Okay, it's called Knives Out, and what it has is it is full of suspense. Now, suspense is a really good word to know. It makes you wait for something you know is about to happen. So the film is full of suspense. Now, obviously, horror movies are usually full of suspense, but Knives Out is a really good example of a movie full of suspense because you always are thinking of what's going to happen next. It's also the storyline. Okay, the storyline is full of twists and turns. Now, twist and twist and turns. This is very common in thrillers and very common in crime stories. This is when you think the story is going this way, something happens, and then it goes this way. Something different happens, it goes that way. So the direction of the film keeps on changing. So you've got a film that is full of suspense, and you have a film that is full of twists and turns. You never know what's going to happen next. I think if we think of TV series, for example, I think Breaking Bad was also full of twists and turns. Yes, Joseph, I think, yeah, watch Knives Out. I think you will really enjoy it. It's a very good movie. I recommend it. Okay, so we've got that storyline is full of twists and turns. I think, let's see, can you guys in the live chat section, can you think of a film that is full of twists and turns where the storyline keeps on changing and is full of suspense? So you don't know how the movie is going to end. For instance, The Joker. The Joker is a very good example of this. Now, I don't know what you guys think, but I really enjoyed the film Joker. I thought it was full of suspense. I thought it was full of twists and turns. I think the storyline. So in the film, you've got the storyline. So just to let you guys know, the storyline is effectively the direction of the story. Okay, so it's the plot basically. I thought the plot in the film Joker was really good. I thought the acting was good. I thought it was gripping, really gripping, actually. I think Joaquin Phoenix did a brilliant job playing the Joker. And that's a bit of language we can use there. So you play a part in a film. So, for instance, if we say Brad Pitt, for example, Brad Pitt plays Mr. X in Gone, for example, just for example. Okay, so we can use this word plays. Maria says, I like too much breakfast in Tiffany's. For me, it is interesting because I watched many times. Okay, breakfast. In English, it's breakfast at Tiffany's. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Okay, so you've watched this too many times. Too many times. Actually, Audrey Hepburn is I think Audrey Hepburn was a very good actress. I enjoyed her movies. Okay, guys, let me know if you can think of another film that is a thriller, maybe a thriller that is a crime story, maybe gripping, maybe it's full of twists and turns. Another example might be The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think that could be a good example of that type of movie. There's also a film like Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption, really good movie. So Joseph says a twist and turn and gripping film was, The Illusionist. Yes, The Illusionist was that. The Illusionist was a gripping film, full of twists and turns. So to say this, the illusionist is your subject. So the illusionist was a gripping film full of twists and turns. Full of twists and turns. Okay, so that's how you could write that sentence. The Illusionist was a gripping film full of twists and turns. Good. Okay, let's move on to the next category, comedies. So before I start, can you guys tell me what are your favorite comedies? What are your favorite comedies? So can you give the example of movies, films that are your favorite comedies that you really liked? Maybe they're American comedies. Maybe they are comedies from your country. There's different types of comedies as well. I mean, if I were to think of my favorite comedy films, I really like a film called it's called Airplane. Airplane, actually. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite comedies. It's an American film from the 80s, I think, and it's such a funny film, really enjoyable. So that's one of my favorite comedies. What about you guys? Let me know, what is your favorite comedy, or maybe series? Maybe there's a comedy series that you really like. Maybe Friends, for example. What Happened Yesterday is American movie. Okay, is an American movie, but yes, good. Okay, I haven't heard of that, to be honest. Joseph says he's keen on Big Bang Theory. Yes, Big Bang Theory is a very popular TV comedy series. That is a good one. My favorite series is Friends. Yeah, I mean, look, Friends is when we mention something like Friends, we can say it's a classic. Now, when we say it's a classic, it means it was so good, it never gets old. So that's one way that we can use the term classic. It's a bit like The Godfather. The Godfather is a classic. It doesn't matter how old you are. you have to watch The Godfather, and it's the same with Friends. It doesn't matter how old Friends is; it's still good to watch. It just never gets old. And so, if you like Friends, put a like on the video. Like the video if you like Friends, and let me know who your favorite character in Friends is. I mean, when I think of the comedy Friends, I would say my favorite male character at the beginning was Chandler, but by the end of Friends, I think it would be Ross, for example. Um, I think when it came to women, the women, I think I liked Rachel all the way through. Um, Monica, so, and Phoebe, I don't know. Sometimes I liked her, sometimes not so much. My favorites. Okay, Maria says my favorite series is Vikings. Okay, let me know why, and let me know how you would describe Vikings, Maria. Let me know how you would describe Vikings. Vikings is a good series. It is a good series, Vikings. Um, I'm surprised no one has said something like Games of Thrones yet, because I know loads of people really liked Games of Thrones. Sandra says Modern Family is very funny and good for English learning. Yes, you know what? Modern Family is good. My favorite character let me know who your favorite character is in Modern Family. My favorite character is Gloria, Sofia Vergara. I think she's very funny. Um, I think she's so different from everyone else. Um, I think that's why she's also really good to watch. She's also very good looking. Um, and you're right, it is good actually to learn English. Um, I think I can't remember the names of the other characters, but there's a gay couple there, and the fat guy, he's very funny. Um, and then there's the dad. I can't remember the name. Phil. Yeah, I think his name is Phil. I think he's quite an interesting character. Someone who tries very, very hard and most of the time fails. So I think Modern Family is a good example. Okay, so we've had a little look about comedies, but let's think of some adjectives. So we can say it is hilarious, for example. Now, if something is hilarious, it means it is very funny, very funny. So, for instance, my favorite British sitcom is a sitcom called Blackadder, and Blackadder is hilarious. I absolutely love it. We can then also describe um, a film or a comedy as it is. It is very. What's the word I'm thinking of? I've just forgotten what word I was going to use. Um, yes, that's it. Witty, very witty. So I think the best way to explain what wit is, if you think of Chandler in Friends, Chandler is witty. His When he makes people laugh, he makes people laugh because he's witty. So witty is someone who's very, very quick. Okay, they think very quickly. So their humor is it's quick and um, it's quick and uh, good good with the language as well. They're good at making connections with language. Alejandro says, for my other hilarious series, oh, How I Met Your Mother. Okay, so then you want to say another hilarious. Okay, so hilarious, another hilarious series. Don't forget the S series is How I Met Your Mother. Maria says, because It is. Don't forget it, because it is about the history from Norway and some countries from Europe. I like to know history, what happened before. Okay, so yeah, that's about Vikings, isn't it? Good. Well done, guys. We're doing well. We only have 10 minutes. If you like comedies, make sure you like the video. Now, let's move on to the last category that I think we'll have time for. There are more categories we can look at. We haven't got round to looking at fantasies, for example, or science fiction. But let's look at horror. Okay. Let me know if in the live chat section if you like horror movies. I hate horror movies. I do not enjoy watching horror movies. I don't like. The reason being is this. I don't like the type of um, suspense and jump scares. So first of all, you've got the suspense. Now, when you watch a horror movie, you hear, let's say, if you watch a film, yeah, you're watching a horror movie, you know something's coming, and then it gets louder and quicker, and you're waiting to see the ghost. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. I don't like that suspense. Now, jump scare. A jump scare is when the camera is on the person. The camera changes to, let's say, a wall. Nothing there. It goes back to the person, then back to the wall. And when the camera goes back to the wall, you then see the ghost. And there's the sound of screaming, of fear at the same time. That's called a jump scare. I mean, if you watch things like what's the film called? Lights Out. There's a film called Lights Out. It's all jump scares, for example. What's the other film called? Like The Conjuring, Paranormal Activities. They're all full of jump scares. So I don't like horror movies. Joseph says, I don't like horror movies. I'm with you on that one. Sandra says, for me, the favorite actor in comedies is Ben Stiller. He's very funny. Okay. For me, now here you would have to say either the best actor or my favorite character. My favorite actor or the best actor. So you have to choose either the best or my favorite actor is Ben Stiller. Okay, fair enough. Ben Stiller is good. I mean, I think, I mean, he was very good in films like Zoolander, Meet the. I have to say this word carefully. Meet the Fockers, for example, with Robert De Niro. He's been in quite. Oh yeah, Along Came Polly. Dodgeball. Actually, I think that might be my favorite Ben Stiller comedy, Dodgeball. So let me know about horror movies. Let me know if you like horror movies, if you don't like horror movies. The other thing, adjective we can use with horror movies is the word creepy. So the film is creepy. Creepy is when the film it makes you feel very uncomfortable and probably and scared and maybe scared. For example, this is when you. I mean, if I'm trying to think of a good example. No, I can't think of the example. But actually, yes, I can. So again, this is when you hear lots of noise or there's a character and you can tell you can see that the person in the movie, the character is bad. There's something very, very creepy about the character. You know that the character might be dangerous, for example. Let me know. Oh, prime example, It. I completely forgot. Yeah, It. The film It. The clown, the guy, the of the clown is very, very creepy, very uncomfortable. Um, I can't. I don't enjoy watching those movies. And then the strange thing is that you then saw. I think it happened in the United States. Some people decided to start looking like a clown to scare people. For me, it's just really creepy. I don't like it at all. Um, Not my cup of tea, really. Maria says, I don't like to watch horror movies, but sometimes when I was with friends in a group, I can watch. There is a horror movie. Oh gosh, The Exorcist. Oh no, 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 no. Whoa. No, no. The Exorcist is a creepy movie. That's a very creepy movie. But thank you, Maria, for your contribution. Sandra says, I don't like horror movies because I can't sleep after watching a after watching brutal movies. You don't need if you use the I after I watch brutal movies. No I after watching brutal movies. Yeah, I can't sleep very well after horror movies either. Um, Even stories. I just don't like horror stuff. Arena says, I'm scared to watch horror movies. I never watch them at all. I don't blame you, Arena. I don't either. I don't enjoy being scared. I know some people enjoy being scared. I don't. I really, really don't. Um, like for instance, horror movies with dolls, for example, like a film called Chuck. I think I hate dolls in scary movies, and in scary movies, there's something about children. When you watch a scary movie, a horror movie, and there are children in the movie, you know it's going to be really scary. For some reason, it's going to be the word is terrifying. Okay, it is terrifying. Terrifying is really scary. Okay, really scary. And whenever I see horror movies with children, I know it's going to be terrifying. Um, Maria says, "Yep, it is. Don't forget, it is terrible because I need to sleep with someone if I. Oh, yeah, if you watch, yes. So if you watch a horror movie, it then becomes difficult to watch. Gizem says it's better to not watch a horror movie with me because I scream a lot. Something tells me, Gizem, that if you something tells me that your scream makes other people scared. So you will be watching the horror movie, you will scream before before everyone else, and everyone will go ah because you have screamed. I'm guessing you are one of these people that makes the horror movie more scary. Alejandra says, "I can't sleep I've watched when I've watched a scary movie." Okay, guys, overall, I think you've done a very good job. Please like the video. Um, and to all of you who have written in the live chat section, thank you very much. It's been very enjoyable to read um, your posts about horror movies. To those of you who are watching but have not written in the live chat, thank you very much for watching anyway. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this and share our other videos with people that you know who are interested in learning English as well. Have a lovely evening. It looks like it might rain. Hopefully not. But have a really good day. And I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time at 4 o'clock with another live video and another live lesson. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, and bye for now. Cheers.